Alright everyone, and welcome back to Vettel Career on F1 2015, and today it's round 8 of the season, the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring. And yep, in the previous race it was the Canadian Grand Prix, and yep, Ferrari and Vettel looking quite strong in that one. They looked like they may be able to beat Mercedes on the strategy, but yeah, an unfortunate collision with Valtteri Bottas put an end to all of that, and Vettel only managed to limp over the line in 7th place in the end. Really not what he was hoping for, and he's now 35 points behind Lewis Hamilton in the championship standings, and yet Mercedes have retaken their lead at the top of the Constructors' Championship. So yeah, we move on to Austria now then, and obviously Ferrari will be looking to fight back here because yeah, they are really on the back foot now, sitting in the Drivers' Championship, and they really need to start taking some points off consistently now if they're going to be a threat for certainly the Drivers' Championship and also the Constructors going forward. So yeah, without further ado, let's have a look at what happened in qualifying. And for the third qualifying session in a row, we saw heavy rain falling, and yeah, it was a complete washout on Saturday, with Q1 being run completely on the full wet tyres by everyone, and yeah, Vettel got through comfortably in that session in 4th place. And yeah, on to Q2, where the conditions did actually improve a little bit, and yeah, like in Canada actually, they managed to get out on the intermediate tyres by the end of the session, and Vettel got through only a few tenths shy of the Mercedes in 3rd place. So yeah, it was looking like he may be able to threaten them for pole position in Q3, but in Q3 the rain picked up again and they were back onto the full wet tyres, and yeah, Vettel had a lot of invalidated laps from going outside the track limits, and yeah, he only managed to get in one clean lap, which got him 4th place on the grid. So he was actually out qualified by the 2 Mercedes and also his teammate Kimi Raikkonen here today. So not the ideal result, but yeah, it does still put him in a decent position here. And now let's have a look at the full top 10. So it is a championship leader Lewis Hamilton, who will be starting the Austrian Grand Prix from pole position, once again with his teammate Nico Rosberg just alongside him. Only 5 thousandths of a second separated them in Q3. Then it's Kimi Raikkonen in 3rd place, who just about outqualified his teammate Vettel by less than half a tenth of a second. And yeah, behind them then we've got the 2 Williams, so top 6 is once again Noah's Ark again. And then we've got Daniel Ricciardo, the only Red Bull to actually make it into the top 10 at the Red Bull Ring. Then we've got the 2 Force Indias of Perez and Hulkenberg in 8th and 9th. And runs out top 10, Romain Grosjean in the Lotus, a solid performance from him. And yeah, let's see what the race will bring.
Welcome one and all to Spielberg for today's race, the Austrian Grand Prix. The circuit is owned by Red Bull. One might think this will give them an advantage. Only time will tell. Here's today's pole sitter, Lewis Hamilton. When I was speaking to him early on, I got the sense that he has total confidence in himself and his Mercedes car to take that race victory today.
He's definitely going to be difficult to beat today, but anything can happen, so we'll have to keep a close eye on how this unfolds over the course of the race.
It's been a really disappointing season so far for Red Bull. They aren't getting the points that they believe the car is worthy of.
Red Bull have clearly suffered the most from the change of regulations. The car is still a good car, but they say the performance of their new hybrid power unit is letting them down. You can guarantee they're working hard with Renault to find a way to bridge the gap to the competition.
So here on the grid then, for the Austrian Grand Prix, and thankfully it is blue skies for the race, so yeah, we're not seeing any more wet running there, it looks like. As we see a strategy, it looks like a 3-stop race with the first stop on lap 8. So yeah, we'll have to see if that is a good strategy and if the Ferraris can take the fight to Mercedes with it, as yeah, the lights are coming on now. And away they go in Austria, and once again Vettel struggling to get off the line. Valtteri Bottas has gone past him, and it looks like Felipe Massa is going to have a look at him as well into turn 1 here. He's in the middle of the 2 Williams, and it looks like Bottas has managed to hang on, run the outside and keep 4th place, but Massa's dropped back there. I think it may have been a little bit of contact, as yeah, Vettel's going side by side now with Bottas towards turn 2. He wants to get that place back straight away and go after his teammate and the 2 Mercedes, but Bottas fights back on the exit of turn 2 and is back up into 4th place. So can Vettel to try again into turn 3. It looks like they are going to go side by side for the third corner in a row here. Up the inside he goes, and it looks like he has finally managed to make that move stick then up into 4th place. As yeah, we're now going to look at a replay then of the start, and yeah, Vettel with so much build to him once again off the line, and yeah, you see it's certainly mastered there, having a look, and then I think he carried a little bit too much speed. We'll certainly get a good view of it here. Well, we see him on the inside here, and he has a nice bit of track there up in front of him, and he does dive off the inside. I think at the last minute he realised he was going a bit too quickly, and yeah, had to bail out and get on the grass a little bit. So you see the start from Bottas and a great launch from him. May even have a look at Kimi Raikkonen there if there's a bit of a longer run to turn 1. Once again, Mercedes power winning off the start. And yeah, Bottas very wide there, and there was a little bit of contact with Bottas and Vettel there. Now we see the overtake into turn 3 and Vettel kicking the back end out there under braking, but yeah, he's through and into 4th place. As we now skip to the beginning of lap 5 then, where we see up in front Kimi Raikkonen keeping the team Mercedes very honest here as they're going side by side actually for the lead. And yeah, Vettel slowly starting to catch them back up here, but yeah, we saw Hamilton and Rosberg there in the distance going side by side. Now it looks like Raikkonen and Rosberg going side by side, so it looks like Ferrari are matching, or maybe even quicker than Mercedes here, on pace at this point. And Raikkonen's going side by side here with Rosberg, and he's going to have DRS of course, well they both will, but Raikkonen is getting himself ahead here, and Vettel and Bottas are both catching this group of 3 here, and Raikkonen then up in 2nd place, so Ferrari certainly taking the fight to Mercedes here, and not just on strategy but also on track here, as we see Raikkonen now going for the lead on the next lap against Hamilton, but he looks like he's got a bit out of shape there in turn 1, and Rosberg's going to have a look at him and try and get that 2nd place back here, but Vettel catching right up to them now, and yeah, just look how much he closed in just in the brake zone for turn 2, he's right with them now suddenly. And Bottas saying over just a second behind this is looking like it could be a 5-way fight for the lead soon here. As Rosberg is lining up Hamilton now, he started the lap in 3rd place, but by the time they get to turn 3, Nico Rosberg is into the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. So what a race we've got here at the front. We've now got a train of 4 with 5th place not far behind here. And yeah, this is looking like a fascinating battle here between the team Mercedes and the 2 Ferraris. And yeah, let's see how this is going to play out then. But the possibility that they could be on different strategies as well, so that makes it all the more interesting. And in fact, at the end of only lap 6 then Lewis Hamilton is coming into the pit lane, so like in Canada, will Mercedes be doing the extra stop then? We certainly saw Raikkonen do the extra stop, but Vettel certainly wasn't planning to, but yeah, he's now lining up Raikkonen then into, or towards the 1st corner, and he's through before they even get there with the help of DRS. And yeah, up into 2nd place then. Bottas is just behind them now, as we see a nice aerial replay then of the 2 Ferraris going side by side across the start finish line. And yeah, through goes Vettel then in 2nd place, Rosberg not far up the road there, and yeah, at the end of that lap Rosberg is now going to come in as well, so yeah, Vettel staying out then as was the plan, and it looks like Raikkonen is also staying out then, so are Ferrari planning to do one less stop than Mercedes here today. Yeah, certainly looking that way, and that certainly the pace they've had in the early few laps suggests that Mercedes are really struggling here with tyre wear, as Vettel comes in at the end of lap 8 as was scheduled, but looks like Kimi Raikkonen is as well, so a bit unusual here. Ferrari seemingly with a bit of an open goal here, and they seem to be scoring a bit of an own goal here somehow, as Williams are also looking to receive Massa I think for a pit stop, because I think Bottas has already been in, and yep, Vettel going on to another set of option tyres then, but Raikkonen had to wait there. Not sure why he decided to come in on the same lap, or why the team decided to call him in on the same lap. But yeah, that's going to cost Raikkonen quite a bit of time to the team Mercedes now then. As Sainz has stayed out for one more lap, and it looks like Rosberg is just about going to retake the lead then. Hamilton looks like he's been caught up in traffic here, so that earlier stop has really not helped him out at all, and in fact Bottas is ahead of him. So yeah, across the line then, Sainz has just come into the pits, but Vettel's lining up Rosberg here for the lead of the race. And we see the Ferrari go past Mercedes, and Vettel is into the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix, and it really is game on now, as we see once again a replay of that move into turn 1 in the braking zone. And yeah, we skip to lap 13 now then, where Rosberg is still very much putting the pressure on him here, but it really is turning into a 2-horse race here for the race win, it looks like, because Bottas is quite a distant 3rd. Hamilton and Rosberg have both lost so much time with their Hamilton and Raikkonen have both lost quite a lot of time with their pit stops, and Yeah, we've now got Rosberg actually lining up Vettel here down towards turn 3. Vettel goes defensive. Rosberg's going to try and go around the outside. It looks like he's outbraked him, but Vettel is just going to try and force him out wide here, and it looks like he has got the place covered, and then he just casually drifts the Ferrari over to just block the inside line for the next turn, and yeah, he maintains his place then. We skip to lap 16 now then, where yeah, Vettel now coming in for his second pit stop, and Rosberg is actually going to be coming in behind him, I think, and yes, there he is, but he was really struggling on the tyres. He'd had to obviously go quite a long way on that set of tyres to actually be sort of back on par with like Ferrari's strategy. So yeah, maybe they will be doing the same amount of pit stops here as Vettel goes on to another set of the option tyres. And yeah, out of the pits they're going to come then. Raikkonen's actually going to go into the lead then. He's actually not going to be on the same lap this time then. So yeah, maybe Ferrari learning their mistake there. But yeah, Raikkonen can see almost a pit stop behind though, so that's unfortunate for him, as Vettel is going to rejoin just in front of Daniel Ricciardo there. And Raikkonen pits on the next lap then, so Vettel back up into the lead of the race with Rosberg a few seconds behind. And coming out of the pits in 19th position is the championship leader Lewis Hamilton. So something has happened to him here, and Vettel has now got a golden opportunity. He's 35 points behind in the championship, but with Hamilton now looking unlikely to score points, Vettel, it would be crucial if he could win this, as we see a replay then of Carlos Sainz colliding with Romain Grosjean, having a pretty big impact with the wall. Then they both spin as Sainz was out of control, and we see there Hamilton, who had actually made an earlier stop, was actually way back in traffic and got himself caught up in that, as Kvyat had nowhere to go there, and then Hamilton just smashed it into the back of him there, and then Nasser also does. So yeah, really a few of them not paying attention there going into the corners. We see Hamilton here on board with him on a fresh set of tyres, and yeah, it looked like he was he lost a bit of concentration there, because there's quite clearly an incident going on in front of him, and then Marcus Ericsson just punts him out the way a few corners later. So amateur hour all around then, it's looking like in the midfield today. But yeah, on lap 25 Vettel pits, and Rosberg has already been in for a third stop. So yeah, Vettel with a pretty big lead at this point then, and yeah, 17 seconds over Massa, who's also only pitted twice up to this point, and then Raikkonen just behind him. So yeah, in comes Vettel in for his final stop onto the prime tyres, and he's so close now with Rosberg there. It looks like having to pit a bit earlier then, because obviously he's struggling on tyre wear. So yeah, it's really starting to look good for Vettel here. He managed to build up a few seconds of a gap to Rosberg for the pit stops, and yeah, out of the pits they come then. Massa's just been in as well, so Raikkonen, it looks like, is just about going to take the lead. They're side by side, but yeah, Raikkonen does go through here and into the lead. He's probably going to pit at the end of this lap though, and yeah, Vettel right behind him then. Rosberg, we'll see the gap I think in a second here, or we won't. I think that was him there, about 5 or 6 seconds behind. But yeah, Vettel then with DRS then, and we're going to see two Ferraris are we side by side, and well, Vettel I think probably could have outbraked him there, but he couldn't. So yeah, he stays behind for the time being, but Raikkonen does pit at the end of the lap anyway. So yeah, Vettel into the lead then. He's now got 10 laps to try and maintain this then over Nico Rosberg, and yeah, across line he comes then. And in fact, Rosberg actually did have to pit for a 4th time. They really were struggling on tyre wear here compared to Ferrari, and they've had to make 4 stops, and now Rosberg is having to go after a podium position here. And in fact, line up Felipe Massa, he's got it all wrong there. Lost his front wing, he's done pretty much what Carlos Sainz did earlier on. And wow, even when Hamilton has a bad race, Rosberg still has a bad one, it seems, this season. And yeah, well, you have to say that was Rosberg's fault though, really, that time. And yeah, he's just ruined his chances once again. But for Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari, it has really been a perfect day for them. And in fact, Kimi Raikkonen has got himself up to 2nd, so it really is going to be the perfect result for them then. Around the final corner, it's going to be 3 wins for the last 4 races, as Sebastian Vettel crosses the line to win the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yes, you've done it. Well done.
And I think that pretty much is as perfect a result as you can get if you're Ferrari. The 2 drivers 1st and 2nd, and former driver Felipe Massa there in 3rd place, obviously a very loyal driver to the team for the 8 seasons he was there. But for Vettel, it's delight. It's his 3rd win then, as we said, in 4 races, and it's going to put him right back in the title fight after a bad race in Canada. that bad race for Hamilton today then, sort of really neutralising it. And yep, championship fight certainly very much back on here. As we see the final results then, and yep, Sebastian Vettel takes win then by 22 seconds in the end over his teammate Kimi Räikkönen, who yeah, maybe could have been a bit closer had it not been for that bit of a mess up in the strategy. Felipe Massa then third place from 6th on the grid. Daniel Ricciardo getting a good home result for Red Bull then in 4th considering their problems. Rosberg only 5th today, it could have been 1st or 2nd here, you have to feel. Solid result for the constantly improving Force India team. And in fact, Lewis Hamilton did actually manage to get over the line in 10th position, so crucially he does pick up 1 point today. And yeah, that really is crucial considering, you know, we've seen problems like for Rosberg in the season where he hasn't been able to salvage anything. So yeah, Hamilton, that 1 point could make all the difference later on. And Valtteri Bottas down the bottom there we see actually did not finish today then after having quite a strong race it looked like. But in the driver's standings, Sebastian Vettel has got the gap down now to just 11 points behind Lewis Hamilton. And yeah, Kimi Räikkönen 30 back. And yeah, you can see that bad race Vettel had in Canada has pretty much just been nullified with that bad result of Hamilton there. And yeah, sort of a 1 point swing, but still close enough there. Rosberg still 56 back. He had a real chance here to claw something back, but he couldn't take it. Massa passes Bottas with Bottas' DNF. Looking further down, we see both Force Indias moving up today then, displacing a few drivers including, well, Nazar Bussin and Maldonado. And in the Constructors then, Ferrari retake the lead of the Constructors' Championship with that 1-2 today, and Mercedes having a rather dismal race, but I mean, they still got both cars in the points, but yeah, still a really disappointing one for them. Force India also leapfrogged both Toro Rosso and McLaren today. But yeah, the big news then, Ferrari back on top in the Constructors. So that is it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like, that's always appreciated. Also a comment with what you thought as well. You can also check the description below for links to my Twitter and Twitch, which I am now using more often, hopefully. And yeah, I'll see you next time then for Silverstone. Thanks for watching and goodbye.